This episode is sponsored by The Wedding Shop. Having a gift list makes life easier for both you and your wedding guests. With over 450 brands, honeymoon funds, charity contributions and personalised funds, there is absolutely no chance you're ending up with 40 of the same wine glasses. Not to mention the service is completely free of charge, which makes it even better. So to celebrate your engagement, we are giving anyone who registers for The Wedding Shop via the link in the show notes £50 worth of Wedding Shop credit for you to spend on any gift from their branded partners. T's and C's apply. Hi, I'm Imogen.
And I'm Ella.
And you're listening to the Rock My Wedding podcast,
bringing you all the inspiration and help you need as you make your way along your planning journey.
Join us as we chat with our recommended suppliers from our curated list, sharing with you all the expert advice.
And don't forget about Recycle My Wedding, your one-stop shop for a more sustainable wedding.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How did you sleep?
I slept very well.
I'm not just being weird asking you that question.
It did sound really weird.
It's because obviously this time we're also filming this series for the podcast, and we're lucky enough to be able to film in Recommended Supplier Iscoyd Park this time, which is beautiful.
It's stunning. I think you can see from the backdrop, to be honest.
Yeah,
it's
if you're not
amazing.
watching it, we've got sheep behind us. So.
Yeah.
But we were actually able to stay in the Iscoyd cottage, which is the bridal cottage, I believe, where the bridal party stay the night before the wedding. And oh my God, it is gorgeous.
It was absolutely incredible. And again, there's a theme, there's a copper bathtub.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
But did you have a bath?
No, I just sat in it with my clothes on.
There's always so many beautiful bathtubs, and we're yet to have a bath in one of these beautiful bathtubs. But we will one day.
One day.
Maybe next time if we're ever invited back. But on the theme of venues, that is actually what we're going to be talking all about today. And we're joined by Liv and Chelsea, who are the wedding managers here at Iscoyd Park. Hi.
Hello.
Thanks for coming on.
Welcome. It's okay.
It's really nice. Are you okay?
Bit nervous.
Oh, no.
I feel like we've forced you. Yeah, we're fine.
So obviously we want to talk about, venues is one of the first things you kind of think about when you get engaged. It's probably one of the biggest decisions that you make during your wedding planning journey, because obviously it's where you get married. And, I don't know, like me personally, I always think about, that's a nice venue, I want to get married there. Or have you ever thought about where you want to get married, Ella?
Yeah, if someone loves me enough to actually marry me one day, I think we see so many incredible venues at Rock My Wedding. So it changes all the time. As soon as I write a wedding, I'm like, okay, that's it, that's the one.
And I think now since coming to Iscoyd, I'm like, no, I'm definitely going married at Iscoyd. Sold on the copper
Just so I can sleep in the bed.
I know, I definitely didn't want to get up this morning. It was hard.
Mentally, I'm still in that bed.
I think it's even more beautiful with the frost coming over when you drive up, when you come round.
It looks absolutely incredible.
It is stunning. But so I think let's start from the very beginning. So you're kind of just looking at venues. You kind of, you might have an idea of where you want to get married. You might have a thought of you've seen a venue previously that you're like, I'm definitely going to get married there. But you might also have absolutely no idea what to do, how to go about it. And I think the first thing that we'd say to do would be to kind of sit down with your partner and kind of look at your priorities and what you want to get from your venue and kind of what your non-negotiables are. So what your budget is. Yeah. I think that's really important.
Yeah, really important.
A venue's quite a big part of your budget.
Yeah.
How many guests you want to invite.
Yeah, and location as well. I think that's really
definitely
big thing.
Location. Yeah. Are you willing to travel to your venue, or do you want it close by?
Yeah.
And also, is there any things that you're willing to compromise on?
Yeah.
So it might be the perfect venue, but it doesn't have accommodation on site. Are you able to look elsewhere for accommodation and that kind of thing? So once you've kind of got that list of priorities and compromises, and you and your partner are on the same page,
fingers crossed,
then you might start to reach out to some venues or kind of go about searching. Maybe you're looking on the curated list on Rock My Wedding, or you've got an idea of a few venues that you want to get in contact with. So I guess that's where you guys kind of come in, because the couples will reach out to you guys, and then like where does it kind of start? How do you start the ball rolling on like that process of getting the couples in to view the venue? Or
Yeah, so we kind of get their inquiries through and send them a whole load of information, really, don't we? Probably bombard them a little bit with documents and things like that. But it's always good. We send them our brochure so they get to see our prices. It has all kind of information about our maximum capacity, where they could actually legally get married here. Also details of the church, if they wanted a church wedding that's close by. And then we'd go about checking availability, if they've got a date in mind, or a year or a month or anything like that. And then we put them in for a viewing. Kind of, that's how it starts.
How far in advance do people normally contact you? Like, is it like a
It really
kind of
varies.
Is it a big variation?
We have people that will try and get married in 6 months' time, and then people who are looking for 2026. So it kind of really,
it just
really
depends.
varies. Yeah, it depends on the couple.
Yeah. And do you get a lot of people who know exactly like what date, or is it kind of good to be open about kind of have a few dates, or like a season or a specific month that people are like, okay, we'll get married in October, and it doesn't really matter what date in October? Or do you get a lot of people who are like, I want to get married on October the 26th because it's a Saturday?
Get a few, if it's an anniversary or something like that, a date that means something to them. But I think it definitely helps to be flexible, especially kind of if you're looking to get married within a year or within the next year or something like that.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's people, they definitely want a Saturday, or they definitely want a Friday or something like that, or the month.
Well, it's good to sort of figure out what season as well, and sort whether you want spring or summer, autumn, winter. But I think it's always a good idea to check the availability before you come to a venue to make sure
you don't want to fall in love with somewhere and then not have the date.
Them dates, So it's always good to check the availability and be really flexible as well.
Yeah.
I think, if you can be.
Yeah. Because I guess you don't want to come and view a venue and be like, I want to get married in October. And then,
and
I don't know why I keep saying October. There's nothing special.
You want to get married in October.
But and you don't want to be disappointed to kind of come and be like, oh, actually, they don't have availability on when I want to be there. So in terms of viewing, is it kind of people book viewings and then like, can they do it any time? Like, or is there specific days that they can view, or do you kind of encourage people to go to like the wedding open days?
Well, even on our open days, we still do private tours. So all of our tours are private, so we can really kind of work one-on-one with the couples. But any day that we don't have an event on, because when you hire Iscoyd, you get it as exclusive use. We wouldn't do show rounds if there was an actual wedding on. But any other time from that, really, isn't it?
Yeah, really. We understand people come after work and can't do it with working hours and weekends as well. So
we're here all the time.
All the time to show people around.
No, it's nice because obviously you guys are like the experts in like the house, and
Tried to be.
A lot of history.
I was going to say there's a lot of history, and it's so big as well. I literally got lost going around the corner. I was like, wait, where am I?
Ended up in the toilet. Definitely not where I'm
okay.
Yeah, we have to set aside like an hour and a half, don't we, to show everyone everywhere. So it does take quite a while.
Because I guess as well, like if you're viewing it as a potential wedding venue, you kind of want to just see like every nook and cranny. Decide.
And we've obviously got the amazing bedrooms here that are all really different. So you want to show everyone, the variety of the bedrooms,
the different like ceremony spaces.
Yeah, because obviously there's different. You can get married outside, you're married in a coach house. So we want to show everyone everything so they can get a good idea of how they can utilise the whole space.
But also because they get the whole house, they can use kind of rooms in any way that they want to. So you have to kind of explain that this could be this, or could be for your drink reception, it could be for this. So it's quite confusing sometimes.
A lot to take in.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
And then when they've come to view it, there's obviously the open days and the wedding fairs that like venues do as well. And you guys do those as well, don't you? And that's a chance for them to kind of come and see actually like some suppliers you guys work with, but also kind of a setup of what a wedding could be like, I guess. Is that right?
Yeah, so we like to sort of set the ceremony room and sort of where the wedding breakfast would be, to give people that image of visualising their wedding. So we'll have the garden room set up for ceremony. We'll have like string quartet and have it all decorated. So we like to give people that bit of a wow factor as they walk around the corner. And then, yeah, they can come in and speak to like our recommended suppliers. We've got a great recommended suppliers list.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it is a fun.
More of an event,
It
isn't
is
it?
more
It's
of
not
an
really
event.
like a fair. We have
like to
kind
go
of
all
music
out.
playing, lots of food going around, free drinks. So it's a day out. It's fun.
Yeah,
It's a little
it's
party.
good fun.
Yeah.
Oh, we definitely have to come to
Yeah, I'll be
Yes.
here again. Even though I'm not
With
getting
a-
married.
You'll
Put a
find
ring on and
everyone.
pretend.
Yeah, we'll pretend.
And so when people come to visit and they're kind of deciding what venue to pick and they're going through that kind of process, is there any specific questions that you kind of get asked frequently from like potential couples wanting to get married here, that, you know, could be kind of a crucial question to ask? Or is there anything that couples don't ask that you're kind of like, you should ask this because it's kind of helps you
Yeah,
decide?
I think even before you go and see a venue, it's good to kind of, like you said before, about the budget and also things like capacity and accommodation and stuff like that, because they tend to be your deal breakers. So if you can't fit all your guests in a venue, there's not really much point going to see it. But then when you're actually here, I think it's quite good to learn about how the actual day will flow. So, you know, if you have to turn a room around, kind of where guests will then be at that point. Also whether you can use any suppliers or if you're restricted to using theirs, things like that. You think of anything else, Chelsea?
I guess it would be good as well to ask, obviously, some places you can legally get married,
Yes.
and then other places you can't legally get married. Like you have to
Yeah,
find
it's good to
somewhere
know if
else
you can
have the-
Yeah.
do it all in one venue,
Yeah.
or if you need to kind of put on transport, things like whether you can get married at the church or if you have to kind of have your bands read, things like that.
Yeah, yeah. And I think as well, like venues tend to have other suppliers that they work with, or, you know, you might have a florist that regularly does weddings here and they know how to dress, you know, the staircase or the dining room or
Yeah.
the tables, and,
Yeah.
you know, or like a photographer, they know the kind of
Best shots.
best shots
Yeah.
around the
Yeah,
venue
or like the nooks
and-
and crannies. that you
Yeah.
go to.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's where, like, kind of discussing, like the couples discussing that with you guys as well, to kind of lean on you to kind of advise them on like who the best suppliers
Yeah.
are and,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of thing.
That's why I think wedding fairs and things can be quite useful.
Yeah.
'Cause the suppliers there tend to be like the suppliers that we work with all the time, really, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think they get to sort of showcase what they've done here in the past, so they can, you know, the bride and groom
Actually
can get
see.
inspiration and actually see what they can do.
Especially
to
with like
a space.
florists and things, they all kind of do like big displays on the day.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
you can
'cause-
actually visualize it how your wedding would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess as well, one of the important questions will be kind of decor. And, you know, you can do like dry hire venues and things like that where you have to bring everything in. But then also if you're kind of deciding on like a house like Iscoyd, is you might have a vision of what decor you want. And it's kind of about like how you execute that. So does the venue help with that? Like, do they, like, can they bring their own decorations or,
Yeah, if
like,
they-
what's that kind of process?
So obviously we have, if they want to do it themselves and they kind of want to source everything, we will put it all together for them.
Try to.
So yeah, we have a lot of bride and grooms that like to, maybe they've got family members or friends that are making things for them for their centerpieces, and you know they'll just want us to put it together. Usually we just ask for a picture of how they want it set out, and we can do that for them. Or they can obviously get themselves a florist and book themselves a florist or a venue dresser to do it for them. But we're kind of on hand to put that together if they want to do that themselves, if they want to DIY it.
Yeah. And then, like we say, you've got like suppliers that you work with, so a recommended list, haven't you?
Yeah. So we have all of our recommended suppliers on Hostology, which is this little clever software platform that really helps plan your day. So as soon as someone books with us, we sign them up to that. They create all their guest lists on there. They can look through our recommended suppliers, table plans, itinerary of the day, that kind of thing. And it also has all of our bedrooms on as well. So it kind of really helps streamline the planning process because they can kind of see everything all in one place, and then we just do our planning meetings with them and keep updating that.
Yeah.
So that kind of helps with picking suppliers because you know exactly who's kind of been there before and
Yeah.
see pictures and things like that, so that helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we will actually talk to Emma and Phil from Hostology in a bit to kind of give you a bit more detail on all of that as well. But so once someone's kind of decided on a venue and they're like, yeah, I definitely want to get married here.
In October.
In October.
An October
In
wedding.
October.
The grounds are lovely in October.
in October. Then what's kind of the process after that? So they're kind of like, yeah, let's sign, like, I want to get married at Iscoyd. So what can they expect then?
We always think the first step is to just double check if you're getting married here, to check with the registrars that they're available on the same date and at the time, or if it's for a church, obviously that you obviously want to make sure that you can legally get married on the day that you're having kind of your celebrations. So that's kind of the first step. And then we kind of just go from there. So we have as many planning meetings with the couple as they want in the lead up. They get assigned a wedding manager, one of us, lucky. And then we work with them all through the lead up to it, and then we're actually there on the day itself, which is quite nice. Because obviously you build such a relationship with these couples, and then you get to see them on happiest days.
Do the couples get to kind of come back and
As many times as they
Yeah,
want.
we like them to come back.
just move in for the rest
Yeah.
of the
Yeah, they might want to come back, obviously show family round, friends, the bridesmaids. They might bring one of the florists round if they've not been here before.
Yeah.
Photographers, do engagement shoots here. So yeah,
Have their tasting as well.
we have our tasting events as well, and then sort of the new year, so they can come back, try out the food, try out the wine, got some cocktails.
It's a really fun evening.
It's a very fun evening.
Bit boozy.
Yeah. So we try, that they're
Yeah.
more than welcome to come back and just
Yeah.
sort of help them through those planning stages.
Yeah. And speaking of food, do the couples kind of get to discuss like what's on the menu or like what they want to serve, or is there like set menus? I guess every venue's different really,
Yeah.
isn't it? Like some will
Yeah.
have like a...
We've got, so our menus are split into seasons. So we've got the spring, summer and the autumn, winter. And we have an amazing kitchen team, amazing head chef. And they've kind of put together a sort of set menu, but we're very flexible, so they can do bespoke menus, they can mix and match. So a lot of couples might come to us if they want like different cuisine, or they just a fusion, and they want to try and put their own menu together. Then we can work with them to do that, and the chefs can do that work with them as well. So you're not stuck on that set menu. It's just kind of a bit of a guide, I suppose, to help
We can
them.
be really flexible with that, can't we?
Same with the drink as well. So, some people like the champagne towers, the
Cocktails.
cocktail shots are quite popular after dessert. Espresso martini shot to get everyone going for the
Yes.
party. So again, we can do all those and be
Yeah.
really flexible. And
Yeah. And in terms of kind of, so the night before the wedding, obviously like the bride and groom could be staying here potentially.
yeah, if you could take the house for a 2-day hire, so you can have the house the day before, which is really nice because you can come, you can sort of settle in with the family and friends, and they can stay for 2 nights. Then you can have like a really informal party in the coach house with some food and drinks and just sort of catch up with everybody.
Yeah.
And it means you're here on site for the morning of the wedding, so it's quite nice. And I think the whole idea of Iscoyd is that it's your home for the day or 2 days, and everyone's just dead relaxed, sort of just wandering around like it is their home, just chilling out and sort of we're just there in the background. So,
Trying to get involved.
trying to get involved, yeah. So, so they can hire the house out, but if they only want to hire the house out for 1 day, then obviously they get the Iscoyd cottage the night before, which is included in the venue hire, and
Which is where we stayed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't
And we can
it?
vouch
Yeah.
that it's
We want that to be our home.
Same. Don't make me go back to London.
And the brides tend to take it the night before. The
Yeah.
grooms don't get a look in.
No.
There's
Just
a hot
'cause
tub
they-
as well. Just
Yeah,
to add
there's
to
a hot
the-
tub.
Yeah, there's
everyone's a hot tub.
sort of looking at the horses. And
It's very picturesque.
very
Yes.
country.
Yeah. And I guess that's another thing. Obviously, it's like couples, brides and grooms, they might have quite a few questions to ask you, but they're kind of like, oh, I don't want to pester. But I guess it's kind of just ask them.
Yeah, it's our job. That's what
Yeah.
we're there for. And you get a lot of people that are like, oh, really sorry, we've got loads of questions, or really sorry to Mither, but we'd rather them ask all the questions so they know exactly what they're doing and they're comfortable with
And
all
what
the
they're
planning and what they're
expecting.
expecting.
Also helps us because then as soon as they've asked the question, we know more what their day is actually going to look like. So we can make all the notes, and then it helps us with actually running the day.
Yeah.
So the questions are good.
Yeah.
We
like
the questions.
Yeah.
I think as well, like you say, it's like such a big day, isn't it? And, you know, little things can kind of seem quite overwhelming. And
Yeah.
being able to just discuss that with you guys who are pros and, you know, do it all the time, see it all the time, you know, you can kind of put their mind at rest and they can enjoy the build up to
That's
it a
the
bit
thing.
more.
We want them to enjoy the whole process of the planning and to get excited and not be
It's
overwhelmed
such a
and
big
stressed.
part of your wedding is the like whole lead up to
Yeah.
it. So you don't want to not enjoy that part because the
Yeah.
day goes by so quickly, doesn't
Yeah.
it? That you've got to enjoy all the little bits.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, so that we're there to hopefully de-stress everyone, take the stress off them. So that's what we'll do.
Oh, well,
Oh,
thank you.
we're very
much.
stressed on our wedding day. Bride's not.
We're dead laid back.
We are so chill.
Where's the shots?
I know, those
Need one of
espresso
those.
shots.
Take those. Well, thank you very much for chatting to
Yeah,
us.
thanks for having us.
much.
And
This is
thank you for
good.
letting us stay in the cottage last night.
That's
It
okay.
was a treat. So we're just going to have a quick turnaround and chat
Yeah.
to Emma and Phil.
As if by magic.
As if by magic. So we are now joined by two new guests,
Yep.
if by magic. We're joined by Phil, who is the owner of Iscoyd, where we're filming today, and got to stay last night, and also one of the co-founders of Hostology, which we've briefly mentioned, but we want to talk more about that now. And also Emma, who is one of the co-founders of Hostology too. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Thanks
Hi.
for coming on and talking to us.
Thank you for having us.
So Phil, obviously after a couple has booked their venue, how does Iscoyd help with the kind of planning journey? How does Hostology come into that?
Well, hostology sort of came into being because the planning journey, we were trying to streamline the planning journey and make it as fun and stress-free as possible for the couple and for our wedding team, so that they can actually spend more time in talking to the couples about fun, interesting things and exploring how they could do their wedding more. And there was no sort of software that we could find that would really help that process. So we ended up working with several other really good venues to try and sort of crack that solution. And so we've produced, led by Emma, some really great software which really helps and streamlines the planning journey.
So in terms of what a couple can expect when using Hostology, well, you guys are using Hostology, I guess they kind of, it helps with the guest management aspect as well, because there's quite a lot of kind of different things that the couples have to think about when they're kind of planning their wedding, and it helps to kind of streamline that process.
Yeah, definitely. And first of all, I mean, yes, Hostology was conceived, as Phil says, with this kind of idea of getting rid of a lot of that Wedmin, so that endless emails and bits of paper flying around, shared documents and so on. So what it does is let you put everything in one place, so you can just log in as an event manager. So Chelsea and Liv here would log in and add you as a host. And then the host can then log in and see all of their plans taking shape. So their itineraries in there, all of the Iscoyd recommended suppliers or whichever venue you're working with, you can have a look through them, and rather than having to keep contacting the venue and go, hi, do you know a florist? You can see it all there. And then obviously if the venue offer accommodation, you can go in and assign that to your bridesmaids or your in-laws or your parents or whatever you want to do. So it lets you work seamlessly with the venue and in a completely bespoke, flexible way, so the venue can customize it exactly to how they're configured. And that takes in menus, catering, accommodation, suppliers. So yeah, we've been working with Iscoyd for a long time and lots of other venues. So if it is something to look out for, if you're booking a venue, just see if there is something. Obviously, I'd say Hostology, but if there's something else that they offer to help you do that, because there's a lot of admin. And as Phil said, the planning journey should be fun. So you've got maybe typically, I think, 14 months perhaps to wrangle over your decisions. And
it's also really useful because you can. It helps sort of you afford the wedding by getting your guests to sort of pay for their own bedrooms if you want to. I mean, it enables that to happen really easily. So, I mean, some couples, like to get all their guests to pay for their rooms, which really does help with the cost and the budget. Other couples like to, to buy a couple of rooms for their certain guests, or some people want to pay for all the rooms for their guests, and Hostology sort of lets you do that in a really easy way.
Yeah, because I think as well as the couple logging in, as if you're getting married, you can have your whole space, but you can create your wedding website inside there, so you can
that's cool.
create your own guest list, obviously, and use it to send out invites, a bit like something like paperless post. So you can put in a nice graphic or photograph or image or whatever, send it out to your guests, and they can all log in as well. So it's like everybody can log in, your guests, your hosts, and the suppliers. So you get everything in one place, and all of the information that Phil needs to know, for example, or his team need to know on dietary information, allergens, as you say, paying for rooms, but also how many vegans or vegetarians you've got coming, other notes, and so on. So all of that is held in one space that you can log into. And then the final, slightly mundane part of it is the suppliers. So if you've got a supplier coming to work at a venue, you just need to make sure they've got insurance, because obviously they're very sort of beautiful, valuable places. So again, Hostology can help you monitor and manage which suppliers have uploaded their insurance.
Oh, that's incredible.
And who's what time they're coming, all that sort of stuff. So all of that detail.
Yeah, and it really helps you extract the information you need from your guests, which is obviously sometimes can be very tricky. Especially in terms of diet.
Yeah, that is very true. I feel like
I think it's great because obviously, like you say, chasing people, like that can get a bit awkward. Like you don't want to keep pestering people. And you've probably got like a space where, you've got all this information, but to have it in a place where your venue has access as well, and to be able to all see it like in one place, I think that kind of really helps take the kind of pressure of all the different documents and, like you said, like the things flying around. So I think it's definitely great to have it all in one place for sure.
Yeah, and I think there are systems. I mean, most a lot of the big wedding directories will offer tools for guest lists and tools for invitations and all that stuff, and finding suppliers. And they're worth having a look at, definitely. But I think the nice thing about Hostology is all the information that goes into it is fed back to your venue. So it's a kind of way of bringing all the need-to-know information together. So obviously I would advocate that, but I think generally if you're looking to book a venue or get your wedding sort of underway, try and see if there is software that you can use, because it just makes things easier.
Yeah, definitely.
And during planning meetings, it's nice for the couple. If they can see it on their phones, they can literally see their whole itinerary and everything coming together before their eyes. So, there's no delay in getting emails and confirmation emails back. And often there's so many sort of changes of mind during the planning process, and especially with things like food and stuff. And this means that nothing's missed, and it's just updated in real time as you're having the conversation. So it just means mistakes don't happen. So the couple then feel much more confident about their day, and they know that it's going to be okay.
No one's going to have an allergic reaction to the peanuts.
Exactly. Mustn't serve peanuts.
Oh, well, thank you so much for joining us and spreading the news about Hostology and all the information. So really
good
grateful.
luck. Good luck to everyone finding your venue.
Yeah, definitely.
In October.
And of course, we'll put all the useful links and articles in our show notes as well.
Yeah.
So we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.
Great,
Bye.
Thanks for having us.
This podcast is brought to you by We Are the Clarks, a creative photo and film team. You can find links to all articles in our show notes at rockmywedding.co.uk. And remember, if you're loving the Rock My Wedding podcast, please like, share, or leave a review on Apple or Spotify.